There we go. Uh, hey guys, Abigail Klutz here. It's been a while. It's been a while since I've been on a live. Been traveling a lot. Last week I was in, where did I go? I went to New Orleans and then Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and then Tampa, and that was absolutely amazing. If you were following my page, you saw I got to go see Dr. Jacob Wilson and Ryan Lowry and Josh Collins from Operation Torrent, and was with Dr. Heather and Monica Dixon, and got to be at the ASPI labs and do metabolic testing and interview Dr. Dom, and it was definitely that, and being with teammates was absolutely an amazing week. And then you come home and you just, it takes 5 days to unpack your suitcase and like get caught up with things. So I had actually launched a series of Ask Me questions on my page, Abby K Life. And I just got flooded in my inbox with some really fun, cool, and amazing questions. So I thought on Fridays I'll knock out a couple questions. Kind of like some of them are more life questions, and I absolutely love that. So I'm gonna take a couple health questions and a couple life questions, and haven't really prepared that much for them, but let's knock them out. So it says, the first one is, what breaks a fast? What does not? What's your feeding window? That's a great question. That's a really good question. What breaks a fast? Well, it totally depends on the type of fast you're doing. There are all different types of fasts. I love the book. It's by Dr. Jason Fung and Jimmy Moore, and they wrote a great book about fasting, different types of fast. I know with our company, Prove It, on the second Sunday of every month, we're literally doing like a keto reboot 60-hour type fast, but we're using ketones, Signal OS, collagen bone broth. I know in my life, 5 days a week, I do like an intermittent fat fast. And so I wake up in the morning and I put the MCT coconut oil collagen and the keto cream back in my coffee, and then I don't eat till about 12 o'clock. So for me, if I had cut my dinner off at 7:30 at night, that kind of gives my stomach and digestive system almost like that 12 to 14 hour period where I'm just like I'm not putting anything in. And those good fats in the morning in my coffee just create that satiation and also rev up my metabolism. So I wouldn't be able to do it if I was just waking up and drinking coffee and water, nor would I want to. I've always struggled with like blood sugar drops, like been a little bit hypo. And so I just feel like those fats, they just keep me happy. And I love it. It's like a big smooth frothy latte in the morning, and I'm not hungry. I break the fast at 12 o'clock and with usually just fats and protein, but if I work out before then, I'll put carbs on the back end of the workout. So that's kind of my typical. And then 2 days a week, I'm like, yeah, I want breakfast, or I have more time in the morning. And so I always like to swing the pendulum a little bit, right? Like switch it up. So, hey guys, yeah, thanks for jumping on. So hopefully this will give you a little bit of value, but I mean, so breaking your fast, there's all different types of fastings. And, to me, essentially for what I'm doing and my purposes, with just the intra fast, it's going to be food. It's going to be food that breaks the fast. So I call my intra fast like the fat ketone intra fast, because I'll use good oily fats, a little bit of collagen, and ketones to keep brain focus, appetite suppressed, and get me to the 12:30 mark. I love now working out in a intra fast in the mornings, especially if I'm doing any type of HIIT training. I used to not be able to do that, but now that I eat some fats in my coffee or the ketones before that, I feel great. And I think it goes both ways. Like, I remember when I used to train, I had clients who could not eat. They felt like they were going to throw up in the morning. And so, and a lot of them, this was like 5 years ago before I discovered ketones, but they'd be going down, and we need to get them banana, just something to spike up their blood sugar. But then I had other people who absolutely could not train without eating. And some would want to throw up if they ate anything. So I absolutely am a firm believer, because I could swap either one of them for certain purposes. It's about training your system. So it's, a lot of people, sometimes they struggle with stomach, digestion, when they take in new fats. I'm like, yeah, that means you need to be doing it because you're metabolically inflexible, and you need to develop more enzymes to be able to break down fats so that your body is healthier. So we can train our systems to absolutely take in and do different things. So in that realm. Okay. Feeding window. And I had a consultation with a girl today. She loves her breakfast. I'm like, great. This is a lifestyle. So you need to pick something that's attainable. So we're going to have her wake up and eat eggs and bacon and keto cream in our coffee. And then she's going to go on about a 6 to 7 hour fast window during the day, because that's when she's at work. That's when she's efficient. She would love to work through lunch or go work out during lunch. And so we put on some ketones on that 2:30 slot. She's working on about 12, just to get her through like kind of that mental block where people start going down, they start getting cravings. For women, a lot of our cortisol start rising around that time in our rhythmic cycle. So that's where we kind of put her fast during the day, because she enjoys doing dinner with her family at night. So I don't have a, hey Sonny, I don't have like one major formula. I tell people, you have to love your life. You have to love the way you eat. You have to love the way you feel, because if you don't, then it's a diet and you're going to yo-yo. So I absolutely, after coming out of the competitor world and eating 5 to 6 meals a day, I absolutely love eating 2 meals a day and using ketones and the intra-fast with the keto cream in my coffee. Like, I love it. And I thought for so long I would like metabolize my muscle if I wasn't feeding, and not have my metabolism revved up and all that bogusness. So I am leaner now than I've ever been. I don't count calories. I don't have food tracker apps. I intuitively eat, and I feel amazing. So, but you just have to find something you love and that works for you. So on to the next question. What did you have for dinner last night? Last night for dinner, I had chicken, and I put a bunch of Cajun seasoning on it, and then I had like zucchini noodles I bought at Whole Foods. Heck no, I didn't nudify it myself. I don't got time for that. You can go to Whole Foods and they have a box of those zucchini noodles, and I put in a pan, I just put a bunch of butter and olive oil and sea salt all over it, and I just kind of mixed it around. And then I laid the chicken over it. And then I also got a bunch of cubed sweet potatoes at Whole Foods. No, I didn't cube it myself. I need a wife. I'm a domestic. I'm challenged. I just don't have time. So I buy the little sweet potatoes, and I put coconut oil and sea salt on them and roasted them up. And Charlotte hates the chicken, but I made her eat the chicken. I gave her some ketchup to dip it in, and she went after the sweet potatoes. So that was our dinner last night. Okay, do you have a life verse or favorite scripture you always go to when the going gets tough? I love this. I love these questions. So that's funny, because this week, literally, one of my teams, they got me a new journal. Thank you to I got it in Baton Rouge. No, I got it in, Baton Rouge. Thank you, Kathy and Anna, for getting this for me. I absolutely love it. And it said, create your life statement. And so during my DMO, just like my quiet time, what's up, Selena? Hi, Jackie Hall. On Monday, I spent some time just kind of going through this. And I've always been told, make your life statement, make your I am statement. That's nothing I want to conjugate up for myself. I want to be in the scripture. I don't think there's anything more powerful to speak over my life than the words of God and what comes from the Bible. I don't want to find my own path. I don't want to create my own way because the pull of the world is strong and I don't belong to this world. So I just went straight for scripture, and I just started, getting back into those verses that all throughout my life. It's like they always come back to me, and I think if you pray and you ask God to just like give you vision for your life, give you, who am I? It doesn't matter who I am. Who is he and who does he say I am? And that's going to be my vision. That's going to be my life verse. And so what just came up for me this week that I just kind of claimed was Isaiah 43. And it says, Isaiah 43:18, it says, "Forget the former things, do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up, do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the desert and streams in the wasteland." I absolutely love that. And with that, I love Jeremiah 1:5, and I just kind of paraphrased it. I have set you apart to be a prophet, to identify and release the nation. And so not only like releasing, like if you've been through a desert, if you've had that pain, if you've carried that shame, if you've felt captive in your own mind and just like trapped and stuck in a rut on the stories you tell yourself or who you are, like those are you. And I mean, for me, I'm not my own, I'm his. And so who am I? Who does he say I am? Well, he says that he's bringing me out of the desert. He's bringing me out of the wasteland. He's the only one who can, fill the cistern, fill the cup if I'm plugging into him. And so it doesn't matter how much money I make. It doesn't matter how many amazing travel adventures I get to have or how beautiful or beautiful broken my life is. The joy is a deep joy. The only fulfilling joy would be to be plugged into him if he's your creator. So claiming those life verses for myself, that's important. I hear so much talk about life by design or manifest what you want to be. Well, I don't do that outside scripture. I just think that can lead you to trouble, and money can corrupt, power can corrupt, people can corrupt. And so if you believe in your creator and you stay plugged into the word and who you want to be, I think at the end you're going to have more joy, more internal joy, because everything else feels fleeting. And I often stumble with that, and I've been in that. And not to say I won't go back to that, but every day is a challenge, and I know where to plug in. And it's a practice every day to plug in. So having those life scriptures, those verses, that's what I manifest. That's what I speak over my life. That's what's truth. That's what's power. That's what's strong. Anything from me, I just want to check it. So that's a great question. I love that. And then final question today. There's about 50 more. I just picked 4. How do you feel like your actions set an example for your daughter? Speaking of daughter, okay, I got 5 minutes till I need to go pick her up. How do you see it show up in her day and actions? Oh man, this question. Because I look at my daughter sometimes, and when we're going like this, I am just like, oh my gosh, I'm living with me. And it's rough, man. It's really rough. So we look glam, but living with a mini-me it's rough. So I thought about my daughter, and I thought about things I see, and I apologize to all you that are in my tribe living with me, because I know some of these are sometimes hard to cope with, but I'm thinking of positives, and opportunities, all right? We don't call it weaknesses, we call it opportunities. And so leadership, she definitely has taken on some of my leadership skills, and we have to channel that because it can leave her running home to mom crying that nobody's wanting to play her game or follow her rules or do what she's telling them needs to be done, because they would clearly have the most fun if they were doing her idea. So definitely leadership, and she displays my kind of that initiative, organizing the group, casting the vision, and I have to channel it, she has to channel it. Some positives, I see the way, I've been working this at-home business, and I do calls all the time, and I'm talking to people all the time. I do remember when I was a personal trainer, and I would have people come check in at my kitchen table, and she was like 2.5 years old, and she was always well beyond her age with her speech. It was funny, she was bald, and she was like under height, but she was always forward on her language and speaking and walking. So it was like this bald baby walking around talking to adults very eloquently. And I'll never forget, she went up to someone one time and she pinched their fat, and she said, "That's your body fat," and she pinched them. And I was like, good Lord, I've got to stop pinching fat at my kitchen table where she is seeing this. So I've moved on. I don't pinch body fat anymore. But the way that she talks to adults and the way that she can articulate herself and just carry a conversation, like, I really love praying big things for our little Charlotte. Hey, Grandma Deb. So yeah, like I love the way that she communicates, and so that's cool. I love her big ideas. I love the way that she sings and dances, and I know that she's gotten that from me because our home is a constant musical. When we're cooking, I turn on my country music. This is kind of embarrassing, but like I do this little it's like I get in that grunt voice, like that, when I am like wailing it, and she absolutely does that. Lately she's been singing about going to California, in her loudest voice. So I love the way she dances. I bust out and dance a lot in the kitchen and just anywhere. We turn the music up a lot in our house. And so I love her energy with that. I love and hate the way she negotiates, argues, and sells. Sells me, sells everyone on her idea relentlessly, and does not back down unless it's a threat of go to your room, spanking, or I'm going to take your iPad. So she won't stop until she gets her way. And so this is where we go like this a lot. But keep channeling it. I know she's going to be a very mighty woman. So independence. She's very independent. She wakes up in the morning and she goes downstairs and she gets her water, her iPad set up. She's been doing this since she was almost 3 years old. She used to get a little cup of Cheerios and she'd set herself up. Lately, I let her start watching Matilda. It's probably not appropriate. Probably shouldn't have done that. But she's like pretending in her head that I'm the blonde bimbo mom now and she can take care of herself. And she's been rolling her eyes at me and being like, "Mom, I'll cook your dinner for you tonight." Okay, but I can totally see that she's getting that from the movie, and she is Miss Independent. So those are just some qualities that I know that I possess, and I know people have to put up with me a lot, and that I have to absolutely put up with her and channel it. And yes, that girl is going to be a mighty warrior someday in the kingdom. So anyway, thank you for your questions. I love them. I'd love to knock a few more out next Friday. So thanks for tuning in. I'll see you guys later.